The unliving appears in this live stream, posted to TikTok by Luckman and Jay. A pair of guys are speaking to the camera, when behind them something mysterious photobombs their live stream. The robed figure over the young man's shoulder sports a dark face and a head covering. The boy moves in front of it for a moment, blocking the mysterious being from view. He then moves forward again and the figure has vanished. What is this thing? It almost looks like a statue of the Virgin Mary. But then again, where did it disappear to? I guess we're left with more questions than answers for this video. Exploring with Danny is checking out the neighborhood and commenting about how deserted everything looks nowadays. He heads to a nearby park and is looking at the water when he senses something scary in the woods nearby.
Hello? Whoa, hello? Hello?
This mysterious figure in all white looks like some kind of zombie, or a witch, or at the very least a scary person up to no good. And there's also a mysterious red light glowing behind it that looks weird too. Danny runs from the strange encounter and realizes to his horror that he's being followed. Just when he thinks it's lost his trail, the maniac creature comes crawling at him at a really weird angle and speed that looks supernatural and really creepy.
What the?
But here it just looks like somebody crawling on their hands and knees, so maybe it's not paranormal after all.
I'm being followed.
Have you ever got the feeling that you were being followed? What if it were true? A YouTuber published this video of his experience being stalked in Japan in February of 2011. In the video, he explains that when he turned on his camera, this female stalker became interested in what he was up to, so she started following him. Despite his rather roundabout route, which he was using to try and lose her, you can see the woman over his shoulder, dressed all in black in a long coat with very pale skin. To make matters scarier, it's raining. The gloominess results in heightened fear. So what is this woman doing? Why is she following some random stranger in the street? Some even speculated that this man was in serious danger. Whoever she is, I'd get out of there, and fast. This creepy area is reputed to be haunted by a young man whose life was ended by a passing train nearby. Are we about to see his apparition? Posted by Ghost Videos, this scary video was captured outside of the village of Stanstead Mountain, Fitchhead in the UK. The murky woodland path is mysterious enough, with its bare trees, black river, and heavy fog. And then this mysterious figure turns the mystery up a notch. A semi-transparent shape that's faintly human-like appears near the riverbank. A close-up of the figure shows it swiftly moving in and out of view, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Some in the comments think this looks completely original. Others are wondering if the cameraman felt a paranormal presence in the moment. If not paranormal in nature, what could this be? Soft rain falls in the desert and sends all sorts of creatures scurrying for cover, including this unwanted guest. Watch this part and be sure to translate what they are saying here if you can understand.
شلون متر الله يحمانا وياك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله الله يكفينا شره.
A giant upside-down scorpion makes its way across the top of his tent towards the camera with its arms open and pincers extended. It looks highly aggressive and possibly poisonous, but any help identifying its exact classification and behavioral traits would be appreciated. A YouTuber named The Real JP is renovating an old cellar when he notices something weird on the wall. A big bat flies straight at my face, he later writes. This large pipe is the only thing that keeps the bat from getting on him when it leaps from the wall.
I do not know where he went.
Hopefully it went out the cellar door. A YouTuber named Spunkflunk recorded this video with the innocent intention of asking people to follow him on Google+. Little did he realize the paranormal moment that he accidentally caught while filming the video. If you look at the doll on the bed at the 29-second mark, you will clearly see that the doll moves its hand to the side and then back down.
Click add to circles and then just click following. That'd be awesome. It'll only take like a few seconds and that'll get me to 1,000 followers.
The fact that it moves its hand back down makes me think this video was not done by a string. In addition, most of his recent videos have nothing to do with the paranormal. What do you think caused this bizarre moment? There's nothing like Russian dashcam videos. They're usually next level crazy. This video clip is no different. A red Volkswagen is seen cutting off the driver with the dashcam and another car in front of him. So when they reach a red light, the driver decides to rev his engine and pass the Volkswagen. Big mistake. After they pass him, the Volkswagen speeds up again to pull around the driver and cuts him off, blocking his way forward. Then a man dressed in black gets out of his vehicle to confront the dashcam driver. After a very brief exchange of pleasantries, the Volkswagen owner opens the trunk of his vehicle and reaches for a golf club. Apparently, the faintest confrontation in Russia on the road can lead to brutal results, of your vehicle at least. Things have been known to quickly escalate on the Russian roads. A YouTuber named Outdoors with Eric patrols his property at night because he suspects a mysterious creature in the woods. It's a scary exploration and a creepy location for sure, but Eric wants to get as much evidence on camera as he can, so he keeps his fear in check and marches forward. At 1 minute and 43 seconds, he hears some really scary noises coming from the woods. I don't know what kind of creature would be up late at night screaming in the darkness. What does it sound like to you?
Hear that?
He walks for another minute until the scary noises give him pause again, much louder and closer this time.
Man, you guys hear that?
He feels watched and zooms in close with his night vision camera. You can barely make out the shape of a creature at first, so let me point it out for you.
That is bizarre.
When he plays with the setting, he gets a much better sighting on the creature, and soon discovers there are two of them across the stream.
They're coming closer. Yeah.
Two dots in the distance mark where he thinks they are, the screaming creatures of the night. No doubt they are real and so are the scary noises, but the real question is, what are they? That's not sludge you're looking at. Published by Casey Spotlight, a creepy sludge-like creature was captured on film in the shallows of a lake. The figure looks squidgy, mushy, rubbery, and above all slimy. Its form seems malleable. Its movements is like an amoeba, altering its shape. It also appears to have a mouth, but one with no teeth and only grandma gums. Well, some in the comments say it's a leech. If that's the case, it's the biggest leech I've ever seen. What do you think it is? Any theories? A YouTuber named Michael JP86 is recording a cemetery late at night to see if anything strange will happen. Sure enough, a mysterious light materializes in the distance.
What is that? Is that car stopped over there?
At first, they suspect it could be the headlights of oncoming traffic, but when no vehicles drive by, they realize much to their horror that the light is actually coming from within the cemetery itself. According to Michael JP86, the rectangular shape shown here is actually a doorway made of pure light. Watch again in slow motion, and you'll see a small figure run into the doorway moments before the light fades away. If this isn't paranormal, then let me know what you think caused the light to appear, and also what the shadow running into it was. Let There Be Light, posted to the Ghost Video subreddit by Zombie Foxes, the Redditor explains, the security guard quit after seeing the CCTV of an orb walking through a car park and turning on lights in the storage room. The lights can only be turned on with a sensor when you walk 4 to 5 steps in the bike store, which also requires a fob to access it. The video shows the car park in question. For a while, there's nothing to see here, but then the tiny white speck or orb floats slowly across the scene from the bottom right of the screen to the door. Just as it arrives there, the light beyond flicks on. Coincidence? Or is there just something here that we cannot see? If it's true that the lights are only triggered when a person enters, then who or what's inside? No wonder the security guard didn't want to stick around. A YouTuber named Underwater Ireland explores a cemetery on a dreary day. Crows cackle loudly overhead like a warning not to go any further as she treads sacred ground.
They look like Celtic crosses.
Underwater Island looks down and notices that all of the markers have a wide gap. I have never seen any cemetery with this problem before, have you? If I didn't know better, it almost looks like the buried have been trying to claw their way out. She sets up some cameras and records overnight, and this is what she finds the next day.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There! Did you see that flash?
And this is the same shot from a different angle. Also, notice how the gate opens here. Okay, so this frowning man wearing a helmet is what the image looks like when the video is stopped. Is this special effects, or did a spirit really come face to face with the camera moments after opening the entrance? What happens when your shop vandals turn out to be paranormal? This security footage was published in April of 2010 by Old Phantom 13. He writes, "We had been having problems with people breaking into and vandalizing our shop, or so we thought, so we set up several security cameras. This is what one of our cameras picked up. If you watch closely at the beginning, you'll be able to see what we believe is some type of spirit or ghost." The video shows lockers inside the shop slamming closed, one after another. Then repeated slamming noises are heard off screen. A wheelchair in the middle of the room rolls slowly from one side to the other. What do you think? Are these ghosts into vandalism? Or is this another video of strings, like some in the comments suggest? It certainly looks convincing when I look at it. On January 8th, 2005, a professional diver named David Shaw was on an extraction mission to recover a missing individual named Dion Dreyer. David, having won numerous diving records in his career, many of them going great depths into caves, was confident in his abilities to locate this person. He was also with a team to help ensure his further safety. They run a line down the cave to help themselves move along and keep from straying too far and getting lost. There's very little light down here. The line leads to Dion. At 3 minutes, they pass over this deflated dolphin that was on Dion's vessel as a joke. Now it's on the bottom of the sea cave floor. He is walking along the bottom and soon becomes hopelessly tangled in the line. He pulls and pulls, hoping to find a good place to cut, but his movements become slower as his oxygen runs out.
Okay, there he goes, he's moving on again. Now, he's breathing very hard.
I won't show the end, but sadly he did not make it out of the cave and passed in the darkness next to Dion. Let's never forget his valiant final dive and take a moment to recognize his bravery. It was his 333rd dive while exploring Liverpool's most haunted hotel, the Adelphi. Jess and Ellie get the feeling they're not alone. Many have seen and heard strange things inside the haunted hotel, which was built in 1820 1926 before being replaced in 1911. Wealthy passengers would stay here before embarking on their cruise liner journey to North America. Many famous people from Sinatra to Bob Dylan to Roosevelt and Churchill have also been guests. But it's the passed on that call this place home. Published in January of 2022, Jess and Ellie wander through the historic hotel with its ballroom and haunted hallways. They check themselves into the purportedly haunted room 179. When they break out the spirit box, they realize the ghosts here are quite aggressive.
That just said you.
Then they ask if the spirit wants them to leave or stay, and they're given a clear answer.
Do you want us to stay?
Jess is the same voice.
It is.
I'm getting...
The ladies did end up leaving that night. I'd be too freaked out to stay in the Adelphi a minute longer either. Buckle your seatbelts. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. This video is apparently forbidden in most countries, and it's clear why. The footage shows two lit up objects in the sky. They're both moving slightly, with one of them moving a bit faster than the other and in different directions. The lights blink as the unidentified flying device on the bottom moves up towards the one above it. Suddenly they fuse and it sends a shockwave through the sky like a bolt of lightning. What in the heck just happened here? The uploader stumbled across the freaky forbidden video in the summer of 2018. Some think it's most likely a clip from an indie movie. Redditor The Lovely Raven 313 points out, if this actually happened, the media would be on it. Many agree with this sentiment, while some are willing to suspend their disbelief. When asked what it is, the Redditor admits he doesn't know. That's why I'm posting this, to try and solve the mystery, he writes. Can you solve the mystery? I'm at a loss here. There's something unnatural in this yard. Can you tell what it is? Published by Gost Chanel in April of 2022. You can see a white object moving in the darkness. The object is a little figure. The figure's arms reaches out and then this happens. Reaching out his arms moves the cart back. After moving it back again, the ghost disappears from view, only to reappear on the other side of the cart. A moment later, he is sleeping on it. Are these phantom powers being used for good or evil? They seem to be just for fun. All that's hidden in the shadows may surprise you. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Rob Impulse writes, newest Sidemen Sunday video. It looks like they don't notice this person standing up leaning against the wall. What person is he talking about?
I don't want to do this. I don't want to.
Rob explains that the video only shows the 7 sidemen in orange jumpers, but around 30 minutes into the video, this guy appears hidden in the dark. Redditor Mitch's Microwave asks if it could be a bodyguard or cameraman, but Rob says the crew weren't wearing orange jumpers, only the sidemen were. So who is this, and why is he hiding here? I think this one might actually be paranormal. This one is especially haunting. Published to YouTube by TVR Exploring in December of 2019. The uploader explains that Ingolchek was a mining town that was abandoned twice, once by the dissolved Soviet Union, and then again by a foreign company that tried its hand to little success. But it wasn't the environment that surprised TVR Exploring, it was the encounter he had underground that he can't get out of his head. After TVR films the remote mountainside and the surrounding buildings, he heads into the mine, where he's looking at some rusted old gear left on a workbench. You start to hear howling from deep within the tunnel. There's water dripping, which drowns out the sound somewhat, but you can hear distinctly the otherworldly scream as TVR describes it. Although he's a self-proclaimed skeptic and doesn't necessarily consider the sound to be supernatural, TVR says all the hairs stood up on the back of his neck. After reflecting, he still doesn't know its source, and he asks his audience for their thoughts. Some say it's obviously a ghost or demon, others the wind, and still others consider it may be hydraulic. Although there's no definitive answer, everyone seems to agree that this man is extremely brave.
I love waking up now on Saturdays and being able to enjoy my family. We never have to.
This video of the Watts family goes from heartwarming to horrifying. When you hear the terrible backstory, Shannon Watts talks about how happy she is while her husband Chris sits on the other side of the room, his back turned. Chris doesn't say hello or even move during this part. His mannerisms are very stiff and distant. He doesn't even seem to be looking at his kids.
Bella, say hi. Bella, say hi.
Sometime after this video was taken, Shannon and Chris got into a giant argument and he took her life. He gathered both of his daughters and took them along with his wife's body to his place of work while he buried his wife while they watched. Going back to the happy home video and listening to his children cry for their dad is sickening. You want to somehow save them, but there's nothing that you or anyone else can do.
And we're super excited. Bella, come here for a second, baby.
Sadly, after they were done witnessing the burial of their mother, Chris took their lives next. For this, he was sentenced to life behind bars without parole. While you may want to be the focus of your selfie, sometimes creepy creatures in the background can steal the spotlight. Posted by Samik Bari 27 to the Chills Narrator subreddit. The original source of this video is Andy from Bolivia. Andy is laying on his bed, the camera directed at him as he sings, but look at the dresser behind him. A strange figure peeks its head out for a split second before quickly pulling back. You don't see much more than some strands of its black hair. Andy notices the sudden movement behind him and turns around to see what the heck is back there, but the thing is long vanished. When he investigates the dresser, there appears to be nothing. It's probably best to leave that place and never go back. This strange knocking happens at the same time every night and no other times during the day.
2:30 in the morning.
This is definitely no animal. Whoever is knocking wants to make its presence known and apparently wants to get in now, immediately. I can also hear a strange paranormal voice before they knock during this part. I don't think it's the television because you don't hear it during any other part of the video. He shows us the outside of the trailer, and clearly nothing is out of the ordinary. Yet when he returns indoors, so does the knocking from outside.
5 minutes has been doing it.
Hopefully whatever this is never gets the idea to try the door. Posted to the r/Chills Narrator subreddit, Nick Chocolate 19 posted 2 videos from the same night on a doorbell cam. The Redditor writes, on January 10th, 2022 at approximately 9 p.m. that night, my family noticed something weird on the doorbell camera. The orb-like item kept coming into view and setting off the security alerts all night long. Any idea what this could have been? An orb can be seen floating on the right-hand side, and it doesn't appear to be going anywhere. The Redditor posted a second video writing, I posted a video yesterday about an orb on my doorbell cam. I'm posting another video because I want to show it couldn't be something like a helicopter. This is from 6:08 a.m. It did this all night from 9 p.m. The fact that the orb was visible all night makes it less likely that it's just a camera glitch in my opinion. What do you think this is? A YouTuber named the Spyro Gamer has a mysterious problem with his PS4 controller that I don't think is covered by the warranty. The unexplained video begins with him turning the controller on, and the light on the top remains solid like normal, but whenever he passes by this area of his room,
Is my cabeça, if I go over here. And there, look, see? See? See that?
The controller flashes in a mysterious way and then turns off. No matter what he does, the controller refuses to stay on in the closet. Keep in mind it was able to stay on normally when he was on his bed, so the controller appears to be set up properly and not broken. The unexplained video starts to make a little more sense when you consider ghosts supposedly can disrupt electronic equipment, and that's when the ghost stops trying to hide.
I think it's gone. Yeah. Oh.
He feels something walk by, the controller turns off, and then the door slams. Freaky, right? When you explore abandoned places, sometimes you're not alone. YouTuber Christian Harbin posted this video in March of 2018 writing, "This creepy abandoned house ended up giving us more than we expected. When I heard those footsteps, my heart skipped like 4 beats. Whose footsteps did they hear? Watch and see."
This door. Did you go upstairs? Yep. Good.
When they first approach this creepy house, they find a Ken doll posted up on the mailbox. They wander around outside for a bit before entering through the front door, which is absent of a doorknob. The place looks like it's been stripped, perhaps being prepared for demolition. After they explore the house a bit, they enter the garage, which still has an elliptical inside, but the stranger thing is the attic door is open, with the wooden staircase leading down to the garage floor. When one of them loses to rock, paper, scissors, he must climb those stairs to the attic and see what or who is up there. They decide to enter a door beyond the attic on the ground floor first, but before they can, they hear the footsteps. They're coming from the attic. The pair say this is the first time they've heard something creepy in the abandoned places they explore, but they didn't wait around long enough to see who is making the noise. Most in the comments believe it was probably a person, others thought it might be an animal, but YouTuber Deanna Ann offered up the creepiest guess. Someone's nailed by their feet up there like the Ken doll. Makes you hope it's anything but that. A TikToker named Mark Anthony catches this strange activity at a post office after hours. Some kind of hanging display swings all by itself while an identical display stays still. I think it could just be blowing under an AC vent, but then again, in the very beginning you can see all of the other wall displays in the other doors stay still, so it is weird that out of all of these, only one moves. A child is left alone for just a moment, but still long enough for her to have a possible conversation with a ghost. Look across from her at the wrapped silverware in front of the glass and watch what it does as she speaks.
Dinner.
The silverware moves all by itself shortly after she reminds an invisible person that this is not their dinner. She could be talking to an imaginary friend, but that doesn't explain how the object moved without being touched. The ghost appears to leave her alone after this brief interaction, and she happily resumes eating as if nothing happened. Exactly what it was planning to do to their food could be anyone's guess. What would you do if the ghost that's haunting your house doesn't want to share it with you? Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. This Redditor writes, "Threw this edit together of me being haunted and I'm terrified." In the beginning of the clip, Mossy asks the spirit if he can please enter his room, and the door swings closed. We'll take that as a no. He hurries to open it and reveals that there's no one behind it or inside, as he mentions that his fan is turned off on its own. The fan flings itself from the table beside his bed. Lastly, he turns on his piano keyboard and asks the spirit to play a song. The spirit obliges, pressing a few random keys. Is this a harmless haunting, or is something more evil at play? Redditor Bestia Hermosa advises that the Redditor sweep everything out of this house. She writes, "When you come back into your home, close the door behind you without looking back, outside your door in order to have any bad juju stay out, and no unwelcoming entities in your home." We hope Bestia's advice works. This spirit doesn't seem like he's interested in welcoming the living. YouTuber Tim Morozov always encounters terrible things, but this demon takes the cake. When he requests that the demon shows itself, it does so with gusto.
Если там кто-нибудь есть, вы можете ответить мне?
Don't ask something you don't want the answer to. Later it reveals itself.
Вы меня слышите?
Well, that was terrifying, and the terror doesn't end there. Something's in the room with him. Later, he finds a toy horse in this basement room. After moving across the room, he turns to find that the horse moved.
Кто ты? Ты здесь?
When he turns on the camera in the room, he discovers the demon is near. Tim attempts to touch the demon.
Я тебя вижу. Не бойся меня. Ты умеешь разговаривать?
But the demon disappears. Where did it go? I'm afraid that Tim got too close to it, and perhaps it possessed him. Roosevelt High is a school in St. Louis, Missouri, rumored to have been built on top of an old graveyard long ago. Now, a paranormal investigator named Soul Searching stands by the bleachers of a football field with a spirit box to find out if people were buried here like the local legends say.
Are there any spirits here?
4 seconds later, this voice comes through with a strong reply. When asked how it feels, the same voice replies with a flat answer that lacks all emotion, which I guess underscores its bleak point.
Are you upset?
I'm showing this so you can hear for yourself that all of the answers make sense and they're all coming from the same voice, so I think this is real. The final answer pretty much confirms it.
Is your body still here?
But just to be sure, Soul Searching moves on to the school itself, where a spirit confirms its presence when asked to do so.
Oh, that was a yep.
Here's the only part I'm not so sure about.
Can you turn the lights on now? It wasn't on before.
Soul Searching thinks the lights are off, but I think they may have been on the whole time. It's hard to tell though, so I will give her the benefit of the doubt that the light came on by itself, especially given how much paranormal activity was on the football field earlier. A YouTuber named Stephanie Famelli hears screaming coming from her daughter's school bus. Multiple kids shouting at the top of their lungs, not necessarily for help, but completely terrified from the sound of it. The driver is shouting something back at them, but to no avail. She creeps up on them without making a sound, but just when Stephanie is about to see for herself what the screaming is all about, the bus suddenly pulls away around the corner, kids yelling all the while.
Bye bye bus.
Be quiet.
According to her daughter, the kids were screaming that for no reason other than to make the driver mad, but we all know that sometimes kids will make up stories when the truth is too uncomfortable to say, and considering the bus driver was replaced soon after, who knows what was really happening in there. This strange sighting looks like an oversized bird of prey from far away. Make no mistake, this is no bird. Moments ago, this creature with long wings was sighted scaling the dome of a cathedral in Mexico. The demon-like creature looks over its shoulder and sees it's been caught on camera, but it doesn't much care. It flies up to the top and extends its wings before taking off. This video has gone viral in the Spanish-speaking community, so I figured I would give my analysis. Some people are saying that this is a bat, while others are saying this is a demon sighting given its location with the cathedral. But I wanted to clear up the confusion and say this is from a CGI artist named Fernando Loga. Now, if you see this anywhere else on the web, since it's spreading like crazy, now you know what actually happened here. Exploration Unknown is a Knoxville-based urban exploration channel run by a man named John Turner. First appearing on YouTube in 2016, he dedicates his time to venturing into creepy abandoned locations, from derelict homes to former orphanages and asylums. His choice of location will often have a gruesome true story behind them, including the takings of life and other horrible events. Back in November 2017, John, along with friends James and Tim, returned to the abandoned Glendale orphanage they previously explored. This time their goal was to conduct the infamous 3 a.m. challenge. In short, 3 a.m. is considered the witching hour, the perfect time for hunting ghosts. Almost right off the bat at the video start, John and the others have split up when a wooden board is seen falling on its own from behind a doorway. John goes to investigate, and much to his shock and slight bemusement, it turns out it was just James playing a joke on them. This appears to be in James's nature, as he does so again when he slams a metal door shut, scaring John so badly he accidentally stops recording. Jokes aside, Tim soon begins to feel lightheaded after the trio go to the second floor and therefore decides to head outside for some air. Meanwhile, James and John continue to investigate the second floor, finding the normal things you would expect in an abandoned building: graffiti, specks of dust, etc. When they descend the stairs back to the first floor, they are shocked to find Tim collapsed on the floor, out cold.
Down in the basement. I hope I got reception down there.
Tim? Dude, you okay? Tim? Tim, dude. Tim.
Bro, what are you doing?
You okay, man?
Thankfully, they were able to wake him, although he is clearly dazed and groggy. The reaction from John and James are of genuine concern and confusion, and Tim appears to be really out of it with a pale complexion. Deciding Tim's safety is more important, James and John help their fallen friend back outside and back to the car. Clearly shaken by the incident, John and James decide not to venture into the basement, and instead, footage of their previous visit is shown. It is unknown what exactly happened, and no other paranormal activity can be seen in the footage, so it is undetermined if Tim was the victim of some sort of attachment. He does show the common signs of paranormal attachment, which often manifest as feeling lightheaded and nauseated, and can even lead to passing out. What could also be possible is Tim came under the effects of harmful dust in the building. Considering the age and state of the orphanage, it is possible Tim became overwhelmed by particles such as asbestos, a once common insulation that can cause damage to the lungs if breathed in. The fact that John and James were unaffected does cast some doubt on this theory, although it is still completely possible. Regardless, finding your friend unconscious on the floor of such an eerie location is certain to scare anyone. Thankfully, Tim was okay and apparently started feeling a bit better after resting by the car. With that said, the three decided to call it a night and left the location. John clarified in the video description and comments Tim was okay and recovered, as well as thanking those who expressed concern for his condition. On February 21st, 2021, John uploaded a director's cut of the original video, acting as a sort of commentary. John discusses his personal experience that night. He stated he felt concerned about Tim when he said he wasn't feeling good, and expressed regret for not going with Tim to make sure he was alright. He also said he has received messages from people who had lived there during its operation, saying they actually had good experiences while residing there. They considered it a home with the staff taking good care of them. Comparing it to places such as Leckworth Village, it is a relief to hear good experiences about an orphanage. as they can be notorious for negativity, to put it mildly. When discussing the moment he and James found Tim, he said it looked as if he broke his leg. It is at this point John himself discusses a possible third explanation for Tim's condition. According to John, Tim had been up almost 30 hours at this point and had actually worked a full shift of work prior to joining the others. However, he also expresses Tim is sensitive to locations, including a time he collapsed at Skinwalker Ranch. This gives further support something had attached to him, but considering the positive remarks from former residents, it's hard to say what attached. It's good to know Tim turned out okay in the end, as these investigations can cause serious consequences. A YouTuber named Barbecue Thunder 7 watches in awe as huge chunks of hail fall from the sky, landing with the force of solid rock. When it finally starts to calm down, he summons his courage and steps outside for a closer look. Hail is still falling periodically at this point and could get him at any moment. Some of them landed with such impact that now they are buried deep into the ground, and if you have any doubt as to how much danger he was in, these are the holes in his roof from the bad weather. If it can do this to a roof, imagine what it could do to his head. Salmon is supposed to be good for you, but this piece has something extra inside of it that definitely isn't.
Maybe they'll give me a discount on that one.
As he captures the creature on video, 25 seconds is when the worm finds a soft spot and plunges back inside. This video is especially terrifying when you realize this is not abnormal, nor is it the store's fault. Most salmon is infected with these worms, and improper cooking could introduce a live one into your system. So remember, worms wiggling in your food is a common occurrence that is occasionally caught on tape, and don't forget that you're still eating crunchy ones even when properly cooked. I think they should put a label about it on the packaging because most people probably don't know about this slimy little problem and could have eaten them already, including me and you. A YouTuber named Tracy Slaughter and her family hear a disturbance at the top of the steps, and they grab the camera to record what they are seeing for proof. It starts out very hard to see at first, but soon a pale white outline slowly appears against the wall. The head becomes visible in the very center of the room where the two wall patterns meet.
I didn't say lights.
Oh
You didn't say lights. Did you say go across? I like go across the top of the landing.
If you still don't see it, don't feel bad. The next part is much more obvious. Keep looking at the center of the stairway to see it.
It's only just gone across the top of the landing, and that's moving.
Can you ever see it?
Oh!
A being of pure white energy rushes down the steps and heads straight at them. If you play it in slow motion, you can see something actually comes around the corner and charges down the steps at them, sending everyone scattering. I guess this could be special effects, but I would like to get your opinion. The way everyone screams at the exact same time with true panic in their voices makes me think it could be real, in which case I'm glad they got out of there fast. If it was rushing forward to possess one of them, then I truly hope it does not succeed. I've analyzed some of Lainey and Ben's footage in previous videos, and I'm completely convinced that their home is 100% haunted. Here's yet another video to prove it. Published in November of 2021, the couple is attempting to use an EMF meter to talk to a spirit named Dave, who hangs around their home. Well, usually you'd expect for the meter to go off. That's apparently not the way Dave communicates. Instead, as the couple encourages Dave to communicate with them, setting the meter upright on the table in front of them, the meter is knocked over, causing them both to jump in shock. You might assume that it just fell over, but when you look closely, it certainly appears as though it was thrown down by a malevolent force. Something tells me Dave is the strong, silent type. Well, you expect to find some creepy stuff in an abandoned funeral home. Abandoned remains are probably not among the usual suspects. Published to YouTube by RNK All Day in March of 2020, the channel writes, "We found ashes inside an abandoned funeral home that was condemned due to the funeral director leaving and hiding bodies. It was located in North Carolina. It was closed down in 2012 after client complaints. The funeral home's former owner was put behind bars for not burying the individuals. RNK All Day explores this home and its unnerving history. Amongst the creepy things found inside are Polaroids of the passed on individuals and a squatter's bed made up inside the building. But of course, the most unsettling thing they encountered was a bag of ashes in a torn cardboard box. According to a timestamp on the box, they were from 1995, meaning they've remained there for over 2 decades. Let's hope they finally received a proper burial. This CCTV footage appears to be from a market. A woman and a man are looking at produce when a stranger stumbles into the frame, reaches out his arm, and does something pretty terrible that I can't show here. The two people are obviously furious with his actions and attempt to take justice into their own hands. The stranger's actions were very creepy, and I wonder if this video evidence will be used to press charges. It's well documented that creatures in the deep ocean are mysterious and terrifying, but will not often cross paths with such creatures due to the depths they inhabit. However, rarely do we imagine what the muddy waters of our rivers are hiding. Published by Kiwi TV on YouTube in April of 2016, this river in China is hiding something frightening. Marine life that looks partly hippo, partly dolphin, partly crocodile, and wholly terrifying was caught on camera while being poked and prodded by a garden tool. The large river-dwelling creature doesn't move much while being examined, nor does it appear to see much, as it seems not to have eyes. An anonymous YouTuber suggests it's a type of river dolphin. However, it doesn't look much like the baji, a river dolphin that was believed to have gone extinct in the early 2000s. While that sighting was not altogether confirmed, this additional footage may suggest the aquatic mammal is, in fact, alive, though the population has been shrinking since the 80s. The baji appear to have a longer and narrower bill, while the strange one caught in this video features a wider bill, no eyes, and lots of body splotches and patches. Is this a deformed baji? If not the baji, what other type of aquatic creature might this be? These contractors are doing some roof work when a woman who none of them have ever seen before decides to randomly scale the ladder and walk around the roof like she owns the place. The workers eventually convince her to climb down the ladder after a minute of debate, but judging from how she comes down, it's obvious that she doesn't have much concern for her safety or anyone else's. Here she nearly pulls the ladder over on herself. She would have absolutely sent the ladder to the ground if she was even just a few rings lower.
What is she doing? What is she doing?
I don't know if she's under the influence of something or having a nervous breakdown, but I have trouble believing anyone in their right mind would try this next maneuver from any distance, let alone from so high up.
What the?
Next, she hangs off the ladder like a trapeze artist and does one of the craziest dismounts I have ever seen. Watch how badly the ladder wobbles. It really does look like it's going to give out at any second.
Oh my goodness, what's wrong with this lady?
The video ends as soon as she's on the ground, so I'm not sure what happens next. Hopefully they got her the medical attention she needs and did not let her go down the street to do something even more reckless. A family in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania sees something that is so incredible that they have to stop what they are doing and start recording.
There's another spark. You see what I'm saying?
What is that?
Tree?
No. Right there. See it?
Uh-huh.
Strange, shimmering spots appear out of nowhere and seem to float above the meadow and nearby forest floor. For a moment, they think that it could be other people, but whatever they are seeing is floating around everywhere, even in the trees. Many people who watch this video think that these are ghostly soldiers from the Civil War marching in single file lines, just like they did on the day of their demise. Others think that this could be flashlights from hikers, though this really doesn't look like a flashlight to me. I would definitely like to hear what you think is causing this scenario. Here's another strange sewer grate video that's worth mentioning.
Huh?
I have no idea what is making these high-pitched noises, and apparently neither does this person. The bleeding quiets down and then starts up again. Everything from toads to alarm systems have been proposed, but I have never heard an alarm system that makes that noise, or any other piece of equipment on Earth for that matter. If whatever is making that noise is alive, then I hope they are not suffering. Whimsical YouTuber Erwin Saunders is being stalked through his magical forest by a fangirl named Carol, and together they spot something special. What was that in the cave? They see her again in the light.
So this species, because they're relatively calm. She doesn't seem to mind us being here, so...
Oh, she's so
gone
cute.
in.
And then again up close.
Can I talk to her or anything? Can I say anything? Shall I say anything?
No, just stay still.
No. Okay.
I really missed Erwin's captures like this, even though they're kind of creepy, and I think Carol is a great addition to his magical team. There's a place in Niagara Falls, known only as the Screaming Tunnel, a short pathway where a maniac father is said to have huffed out the life of his own daughter in a fit of rage, then accidentally set himself ablaze after spilling oil from his lantern and lighting a match. Ever since this terrible event, the tunnel refuses to hold a flame of any kind. Now a group of friends want to see if the legend is true. This is the first attempt.
Isaac.
At 2 minutes and 6 seconds, there's a spark with no flame. Weird, right? Well, it's about to get a whole lot weirder. With no wind at all. One of them even puts their hands in front just to make sure. They try again.
We're going through this box, dude.
Still nothing. I was thinking maybe the matches were wet or something, but no, not at all. I think this match would have stayed lit if they were anywhere but in the Screaming Tunnel. And of course, once they step outside...
You don't hear them. Outside the tunnel, the match stays lit up.
And it's not like one of them didn't know how to light a match or something, and another one could. Whoever this is wears a necklace in both shots. It's the same person the whole time. So with this evidence in mind, the only conclusion I can come to is that the Screaming Tunnel is all too real. The Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York is weird. Really weird. So weird that it's classified as a paranormal research center now for ghost hunters. Liam Neville is exploring the haunted asylum when something strange and maybe paranormal catches his attention. This is what he's caught on camera and what's been haunting his memories ever since.
Yeah, there's definitely somebody down here. There's a light coming from that. Unless there's a light down there. Whoa.
Yo.
Played in slow motion. And you'll see that his flashlight is off when they see the mysterious light in the hall. Liam and his friend are simultaneously frozen in place with fear and ecstatic.
I saw a figure at the end of the hall.
So did I. Oh
wow.
My.
I definitely saw that.
Yo, you saw that?
Yeah.
They claim to see a shadow figure in the hallway, and I think I might see it 59 seconds into the video. What do you think?
Yo.
This video shows a concerned sister checking in on her sleeping sibling. I'm not sure why she would be holding a camera to do so, but I guess she wanted to record the moment. A girl she has never seen before is hovering over her sister's bed without saying a word, and when she turns to leave to get help, the ghostly child teleports in the doorway to block her.
Are you alright? Oh my god!
The girl standing in the door does look like the same girl who is just standing by the bed. They are wearing the same outfit and have the exact same hair length and color, so I guess it's possible that this was a spirit. Then again, if this was staged, then maybe there was a second girl who was standing in the doorway the whole time to make it look like they teleported. A CCTV gym camera captures this slow-moving white object at 6 in the morning. The strange shape appears to float in midair and even slightly changes form at times. Paranormal or not, experts have been ultimately unable to determine the source of this fluttering figure. I guess it might be a piece of lint or something that got stuck on the lens of the camera, but the way it slowly sways without going anywhere makes me think that this really could be a classic haunting. Ghost Adventures of Cornwall is the name of a paranormal investigation channel in the UK who says that out of all of the haunted places they've ever explored, this abandoned house is one of the scariest and most active of all. Mark and Haley see a lot of creepy paranormal stuff, and it's all caught on live stream. At 2 minutes and 34 seconds, they see something strange that they think is a ghost. A soft light passes across another room that Mark says was not his. The light looks like it could have been from his flashlight at first, until you zoom in and see that the ghost light actually originates on its own and does not match his camera movements at all. It's not Haley's light either, because as far as I can tell, she doesn't have one. Mark says that the ghost orb returns at 6 minutes and 48 seconds, and this time you can clearly see his camera is pointed straight at the window when this ghost light goes up the wall and disappears.
Look at these curtains, man. Oh, something keeps touching me, Haley.
I think that something was touching him because his camera malfunctions at the same time he feels a ghost nearby. Then later a small blue ghost orb is in the window and it stays in the same spot even when he turns away. And when they set up a spirit box in this area to let the ghost communicate with radio airwaves, a female voice says hello. Tell me if you hear a ghost EVP say hello because I do. A sense of desperation lends a sharpness to her voice that makes me jump. A disembodied ghost voice sounds like she does not want to be condemned to haunting this abandoned house. The paranormal investigation must go on though, and so he is brave and keeps talking to the ghost, wanting to know more. It's a big mistake.
Are you alone? Can you knock? Whoa! Time to play. Be careful, son.
Time to play. That's weird.
What?
It said time to play and that one.
Who just said time to play?
Whoa.
You're playing games with me.
At this point, the paranormal investigation has definitely gone wrong, and judging from what the spirit box had to say, a supernatural presence has probably attached itself to them. Either a demonic possession or a curse, an evil spirit can make themselves sound lost and confused to gain the trust of paranormal explorers, so maybe that's what happened here. In this ghost investing collaboration, members of the Holy Walkers, Urban Ghost Urban Explorations, and 539 Productions team up to check out some abandoned properties in the woods at night. They are close friends, and so it becomes a lighthearted exploration full of laughs, but they do miss two things. One of them happens during a passing moment of silence.
You can see a Joe in his native environment.
I don't know what that is, but I do know it sounds large and close by, and during this exact moment appears two green eyes that look like they could be leaves at first, except they aren't touching the tree next to it, and they aren't pine needles like the rest. Believe it or not, the same face appears behind a screen window exactly 5 minutes and 10 seconds later, so I don't think they necessarily found a ghost, but something was probably out there with them, and if they ever return, they might be unlucky enough to find it again, and next time it might do more than just watch. Hannah Atkinson is excited to open her eBay mystery box that she has bought for just under £20. Inside are a variety of trinkets that Hannah seems genuinely happy to receive, but then she comes across a bottle of sunscreen that I personally think is a little odd and suspicious.
And it's taped at the top with the same tape that's on the box, so not too sure what that's about, but that's fine.
Hannah has no use for the mysterious taped up bottle since it is wintertime in the UK, and she decides not to put it on. I guess this bottle could truly just be some leftover sunscreen from someone who wanted to give it away, but it could also be filled with just about any kind of chemical you could imagine. Let me know if you think this was a legitimate bottle, or some kind of trap devised by an online sadist. More importantly, let me know if you would have been brave enough to test the product with your own skin. A group of friends loudly proclaim their disbelief as a slow-moving object flies across Los Angeles.
It's scary, fool. Hey, it's from a different dimension.
It's from a different dimension, one of them jokes, but according to the uploader's own words, they felt a strange energy overwhelm them as the object passed overhead. The object is really large to be that size. From such a far distance away, it's too big to be a commercial airliner, not to mention perfectly round and solid black. They are able to track it for over 2 minutes as it grows smaller on the horizon, and just before they can no longer see a thing, it blinks out of existence in a mysterious flash of light. The odd sighting in the sky occurred on October 4th of 2020 and is yet to be properly explained. The uploader says this was from another world, and it looks like he might be right. If you're going to cage a phantom, you're going to need a bigger door. Posted by Wo Cuyahoga. This footage shows you can't keep a ghost locked up. The hunters are holding an EMF meter toward a locked set of doors. After a moment, something pounds against the door and then rattles it, trying to get out. I'm not sure what the context of this video is, but one thing's certain, whatever's inside is not staying there. If you heard an unexplainable spine-tingling sound, would you have the guts to go investigate?
What is that sound?
Published to YouTube by Jared McLean in February of 2019. He explains that he heard this terrifying noise outside at 2 in the morning. He said that the sound started out of nowhere and reminded him of a scary movie soundtrack. The noise seemed to be occurring a few blocks away, so he went to get dressed and drove over there to investigate. But the minute he went to leave, the sound ceased. Jared said he wondered if it was paranormal or some natural phenomenon. He asked for his fellow YouTubers to chime in with their theories. Some suggest it sounds like a badly tuned orchestra. Others say someone must have set off every car alarm at once. Still others believe it could be a train's brakes being applied on a nearby railroad track. And even more claim that they've heard the same sound themselves. Nash TV Guy put in his own 2 cents writing, "There are a ton of reports from all over the world of these strange sounds, with suggestions ranging from underground bases and drilling. What they all have in common is they're scary. At least we can all agree on that much. Any clue as to what this sound could be?" A woman leaves her car unlocked and loses some personal items, including a set of keys. A short time later, a man who she has never seen before comes to her front door and attempts to gain entry with her missing keys. Fortunately, none of the keys were the house key, and he quickly hurries off with nothing. This just goes to show how easily one incident can lead to another. If you ever experience anything like this, don't underestimate the persistence of those doing it. Sometimes the more clever ones will track you back to your house and try to do the same thing a second time. Warning, if you buy this flat, you'll have an unwanted roommate. Published by Seeker of Ghosts in April of 2022, the paranormal investigator is trying to communicate with the passed on through a spirit box when this happens. The spirit then sends him a clear message, but he doesn't listen. So the poltergeist tries to warn him further. The lights continue to flicker as the spirit box goes haywire.
В тот момент мне стало очень страшно.
Then he asks what the spirit's name is to no avail. Rather than answer, the spirit gets angrier. He apparently doesn't like anyone prying into his personal life. He even comes to visit.
Ой, чтоб меня опять сейчас что-то не полетело.
Did this paranormal investigator overstay his welcome? It seems he was never welcome here at all. A YouTuber named Concerned Citizen made this channel to expose his creepy neighbor, who he claims to have caught looking at his wife and other family members late at night. Here you can see the neighbor stare at the house and then briefly shine his high-powered flashlight through a window before walking away. I can think of no other reason for him to be doing this other than to watch the activities of the people inside, which is both bizarre and scary. He repeats this behavior throughout a series of videos, each time capturing a brief glimpse of a family member before retrieving back to his home. According to the police, there is nothing in the law against doing this because he is merely observing the home from his own property. Hopefully, he stays in his yard and never gets the idea to take an even closer look one night. Willard is hiking Horseshoe Falls in Colorado when he decides he wants to try to climb a cliff. The path is steeper than it looks, and soon he has to put more of his weight on the rocks, which look kind of loose to begin with. Rushing waters are below him, and when he admits defeat and tries to climb back down, everything goes wrong. A large rock comes loose and thankfully rolls the opposite way instead of onto his head. He wedges himself between two rocks and says that if he lost his footing, he could have been taken underwater. Meanwhile, his friend looks back with hardly a care. Overall, I'm just glad he didn't break anything, or else it would have been a long and expensive airlift to the nearest hospital. Do you feel like you're being watched? Maybe you are. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Gage the Sun. This short clip will have you looking over your shoulder. Titled Eyes Out of Nowhere. There is no explanation for this footage. The clip shows two bright blinking eyes in the darkness hidden just beyond a pillar. They blink and then open once more. Then the dim light goes black and this pair of glowing eyes are all you can see. Don't look into the dark corner of your room after watching this clip, or your imagination will keep you up all night. You do if your daughter's imaginary friend was a demon. Originally posted by TikToker Leo Lords 15. This video was shared by YouTube channel Blah Blah and is now trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. The TikToker explains that her daughter has been communicating with someone ever since they moved into this old house.
Hey, so we are just moving in. I'm literally, it's such a mess. I'm sorry, but my daughter has been talking to an imaginary friend.
After letting it run, this is what she found.
This looks beautiful, funny. What are you guys doing? Do you want to play?
While talking with her stuffed animals and/or her imaginary friend, the closet door opens on its own. A strange growling noise is heard. The girl seems to hear it too and takes it as her cue to leave. Imaginary friends will always be creepy, but I'm not sold on the growling noises. It sounds like it's edited in. In fact, it sounds less like growling and more like someone drinking from a straw. What do you think? Is this girl's imaginary friend a demonic creature, or is this a sound effect? Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.